Hello and welcome to day one of our Josie Bra Pants sewing tutorial. This pattern is a truly versatile underwear pattern. One of the things I love about it is that you have options depending on how you want to make it. You can either make it with a combination of jersey and lace, or you can make it just with jersey on its own. The pattern runs from a UK size 6 to size 24, so there's a broad size range there for you. And you have the option of either making it with a long underband, like this example here, or a shorter underband, like this example here. The shorter underband has a little hook and eye closure at the back, whereas the longer underband doesn't. Today we will be laying the groundwork by measuring ourselves and cutting out the pattern. To prepare, you will need to have either bought the printed version of the Josie Bra Pants sewing pattern, or printed out the PDF version at home and stuck the A4 pieces of paper together. Great! Once you have the pattern, we can begin by working out what size you are going to make. Grab your tape measure. To begin with, you're going to measure your bust measurement, which is the fullest part of your chest. Make sure your tape measure is nice and parallel to the ground. And once you have that measurement, measure your underbust measurement, which is directly below your bust. Jot down those two measurements and then have a look at our size chart in the instruction booklet. You'll be able to work out which size you're closest to. If you're between sizes, you can mix and match and make a different size underbust and cup, but you have to make sure they're within 2 sizes of each other, otherwise nothing will match up. Now that you know your measurements for the bra, you also want to take your measurements for the pants. For this, you need your upper hip measurement, which is usually roughly 10 centimeters below your belly button. Take your tape measure. Again, making sure it's really nice and parallel to the ground. Find your upper hip measurement, and then once again, just refer to our size chart and see which size you are closest to. Now that you know what size you're making, it's time to cut out the pattern. So you'll see there's a key here, and you can find which dots and lines correspond to your size. Once you know which ones they are, just follow those lines on each piece of the pattern. My measurements are closest to a size 10, so I'm going to cut out that size. One thing to note is that there is a longer underband and a shorter underband. You only need to cut one of these. You can decide which one you want to make. So let me talk you through where each of these pieces sit on the body so that you can visualize it. Piece A and B combine to create the cup, which leads into the strap, which runs all the way back to the hoop. Coming off the bottom of the hoop, we have piece C, which sits there. Then, as I said, you have a choice between piece D and piece E for the underband. The long underband would sit that long, and the short underband is more like a traditional bra and has a hook and eye closure at the back. So that's the bra. Now let's see how the pants go together. Super simple. You have the front piece and the back piece and a crotch piece. So we've got F, G and H. They combine to make the pants. If you're just making it in jersey, that's all you need. If you want to add some lace, we've got a few options. These pieces, I, J and K, can either go on the front, back and around the leg. So customize as you like. Now we know what all the pieces are, we are ready to cut out our fabric. You can either make this pattern in a medium weight stretch cotton jersey on its own, or combine it with stretch lace. I'm going to use both for this demo so you can see how to sew the lace. But if you are not using the lace, no worries at all. Simply skip past those steps. Once you have chosen your main fabrics, you'll also need some plush elastic and/or fold over elastic. You'll need a 1.5 to 3 centimeter metal ring for the back of the bra. If you're making the shorter underband, you'll also need a 3 centimeter wide hook and eye bra clasp. You'll need a nice strong thread for the sewing machine, and if you're using an overlocker, a few extra threads for that too. But don't worry, if you don't have an overlocker, you can make this entire bra and pants without one. In fact, most of the time, I just use my domestic machine. So to begin with, you're definitely going to need some cotton stretch jersey. Even better if it's organic cotton. You're also going to need some stretch lace trim, and it has to be at least 17 centimeters wide, and preferably have a beautiful scalloped edge. Elastic-wise, you can either make this using a combination of plush and fold over elastic. Plush looks a little bit like this, and fold over looks a little bit like this. As well as that, if you're making the shorter underband version, I would recommend getting hold of some hook and eye closures. You can buy these individually or just take them off old knackered bras. The last few things you'll need is a metal ring that's approximately 1.5 to 3 centimeters wide, and then some nice sewing thread. Place your jersey fabric flat on the table and fold as per the lay plan. Make sure your selvages are running parallel to each other. Normally I would iron this, but because it's jersey, I'm not going to bother. Have a little look in your instruction manual, and you'll see, depending on your size and the width of your fabric, we've got lots of different lay plans for you to choose from. We're going to start by cutting out all of the pieces that we need a pair of. One thing to remember when you're laying these out is that your grain lines, which are the arrows, are always staying parallel to the selvage of your fabric. I'm going to cut out 2 pairs of pants and 1 bra so that I have enough to demonstrate for you today. I use a combination of weights and pins. I like to use the weights to keep the pattern pieces in place once I've done the lay plan, and then I add the pins to keep it all secure when I cut. Just a little note, this pattern already has the seam allowance included, so you don't need to add anything on when you're cutting out. The seam allowance is 7 millimeters, so it's a little bit smaller than a usual pattern, but that's because we're making underwear. Now that the jersey is all cut out, we can move on to the lace. You've got lots of options with the lace about which pieces you choose to use the lace in, so I'll talk you through that. I'm going to use this lovely scalloped teal lace because I think it will show up really nicely against the rust coloured jersey, and you'll be able to see really easily what I'm doing. So let's fold the lace in half, like so. And when we do that, we want to try and match the scallops up. Might take a little time to just get that sitting nice and flat. Once you've got the scallops matched up, just pop a couple of pins in so that you know they're not going to move. Maybe just one either end. And same thing on the bottom. With some laces, you won't be able to get them matched up on both sides, but just do your best. Okay, perfect. Now that our lace is sitting all flat, we're going to refer to our lay plan again. And these thinner ones are the ones which represent the lace, and you can see they've got the scalloped edges on. So for my demonstration, I'm definitely going to use the lace on the pants so that you can see how to apply those. I'm also going to use lace on the back of the bra and on both of the cups. Oh, maybe I should do it on the underband too. We're going to have lots of lace today. So you want to lay your pieces along the scalloped edge, and you want them to be approximately 5 millimeter from the lowest point of the scallop. And we're not going to cut this off. This is the beautiful edge of the lace that we're going to keep on and use in the bra. Amazing, that is the end of day one and we are all cut out. We've done our lace, we've done our jersey, and tomorrow we're ready to start sewing. We'll be focusing on elastic techniques, which is really important when it comes to sewing your own underwear. See you there.